Request that Yvonne Ceresi, Director of Curriculum, attend next month's meeting or a special session to discuss budgeting and to write this curriculum and
Good evening. My name is Reverend Gregory Kinnelon. I'm with the Center for Garden State Families, and my sexual identity is ex-gay. I'm a former homosexual. And I would never have allowed or permitted what was shown to these children, what's being taught to these children in this school. I'm a registered nurse. I watched 100 of my friends and acquaintances die of AIDS before I quit counting. I was a gay activist in Washington, D.C. for 10 years. And I know many people now who still identify as LGBTQ who would never approve of what happened here in Kinnelon. Never. I know many people who have detransitioned, who paid the price for the lies that they were told when they were growing up. What you presented here was a religion, not a science, a faith-based assumption. No one is born gay, and that is the science. The American Psychiatric Association says this: there are no replicated scientific studies supporting any specific biologic etiology for homosexuality. And no matter how many times you shake your head and not agree, that is still the fact. It's on their website, they haven't changed it, they haven't amended it, because it's still the fact. 3 years ago this August, was the largest human genome study ever done. 477,000 human genomes. I'm still at a minute and 30-some seconds. 477,000 human genomes. It was done on 3 continents. It was done with hundreds of researchers, many of them who identified as LGBTQ. At the end of the study, I can send you the information, the GANA study. Here's what they said, quote, "There is no single gay gene," end quote. Of course there isn't. Everything LGBTQ is a developmental gender identity disorder. Yes, it is. It's been treated and still can be treated. There are many people in both the APAs, the American Psychological Association and the American Psychiatric Association, that disagree with the changing of the DSM. So I just want to make sure that you understand that what we've been saying isn't misinformation. It's facts, scientific fact, data-related fact, and experiential fact. And if you want to know about resiliency as far as being an ex-gay, right here across my nose is a scar. Where in Chicago, I was in a church and I gave my testimony. And those who claim tolerance the most, they possess it the least. Because when I walked outside that church door, I got hit in the face by a gay activist. Today, and in these last weeks, the citizens and parents of Kinnelon got hit in the face. What you did was wrong. How you did it was wrong. And what you chose to show for resiliency. You chose it. It was this subject. This subject. This is why there are so many people upset at you, Mrs. Di Giuseppe.
Thank you, sir. That's 3 minutes.
Cynthia Baldino, Ski Trail. I have to admit, I'm a little sick right now. This has been some meeting. I'm glad we're talking about all this, but these are really tough subjects. And it's all for the kids. You know, I'm so glad with the COVID policies that you guys are going to have a discussion on it, because I think that's really important. It's time. It's 2 years later. It's time. So I just wanted to talk about my daughter's experience recently. My daughter's class had a COVID exposure, and although the CDC no longer recommends contact tracing, the nurse called parents to let them know. The nurse said if my daughter had COVID 3 months ago instead of 3.5 months ago, she would have been exempt from the COVID policies. Because of those extra days, her natural immunity and the fact that she had no symptoms meant nothing to the school. She would need to quarantine or test to stay and mask. My husband and I agreed that we weren't going to remask our healthy child who had no symptoms and test her every 48 hours with sticks that contain chemicals. So she quarantined and did school at home with me. Stony Brook has no option for live streaming, but after a morning of crying, she had a decent week. But the ridiculousness of these policies is not lost on her, thank goodness. That she waited in the main office with other children, that she had been walking through the school for 3 days after Monday's exposure, and that she sits in a different seat in her 2 classrooms, which obviously doesn't help to minimize the exposure. So I hope when you guys discuss this, that you'll really look into your hearts and see that enough is enough. Let's let the kids have their normalcy back, and let's move forward. Thank you.
Hello, Ann Neely, West Shore Drive. Back to the 2020 sex education standards that are going to be implemented next year. Any implementation of these new standards will be infringing on my rights as a parent. Parents, not a school district, should determine how and when to address these sensitive topics. These discussions should be taking place in a private, individual setting with a parent or guardian, and not in a group setting with a teacher that could potentially lack the sensitivity and qualification to competently address the full depth of these issues. The appropriate timing and approach for these conversations are going to vary from child to child and are based on many factors. As such, it's the responsibility of the parent and not a school district to determine timing and approach. The assumption that all children at a certain grade level are equally prepared for a group teacher-led conversation is not only horribly misguided, but it ignores the sensitive and complex nature of topics, especially in younger grades. As a parent of children attending Kinnelon schools, I'm shocked and appalled at the decisions that the school district has made thus far. The lack of transparency around the decision-making process is not only frustrating, but also inconsistent with what I expect from the district. It's my sincere hope that the district will reconsider its position on this matter. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Toby Anderson. I'm not a local resident. I'm a congressional candidate for District 11, and I'm here to read an act that was submitted, a bill that was submitted in the legislature today. And just to comment that parental rights are civil rights. Our kids, it should be our choice, what they learn and what goes into their minds and their bodies. This is an act that was submitted by Christian Barenko, your assemblyman. An act concerning health, family life, education, and sex education programs and amending PL 1979 C428. This act will shift the burden so that it is not about opt-out for parents, but opt-in on the schools. So schools will have to get parents to opt-in for these programs that are so controversial. This requires parental consent for students to participate in the health, family life education, or sex education programs, and provides parents with access to certain public school curricula. Be it enacted by the Senate and General Assembly of the State of New Jersey. Section 2 of PL 1979 is amended to read as follows. Any child whose parent or guardian presents to the school a principal assigned statement. Let me just say, any child whose parent or guardian, I'm going to read the amended, as amended, does not provide prior written consent to participate in any health, family life education, or sex education program shall be excused from that portion of the course where such instruction is being given and no penalties as to credit or graduation shall result therefrom. Therefore, it's an opt-in only. Any parent or guardian may review the complete health, family, life, education, program, curriculum, etc., all supplemental materials to be used in the education program in a class or course in which the parent's or guardian's child is enrolled. A complete copy of all printed materials, not subject to copyright protection, and a description of all audiovisual materials shall be made available through any available parent or guardian online portal and kept in the school library or office and made available for review to any parent or guardian during school office hours before and during the school year. The AV materials shall be made available to parents and guardians for in-person review upon request on the same basis as printed materials are made available. Each Board of Education shall develop and distribute to the parents or guardians of a student enrolled in a class or course in which these programs is included in the curriculum and post for public viewing on the school district's website a summary designed to assist parents and guardians in understanding the program as such program progresses and to encourage parental guidance, lost my place, and involvement in the instruction of the students. The summary shall reflect the curriculum of the program as taught in the actual classroom and shall include contact information for the individual or office responsible for maintaining printed and audiovisual materials. The transparency that people are asking for is in that bill.
Can I just ask you, this is being proposed by Assemblyman Bronco?
It was submitted by Senator Barranco today. And get them to vote for it.
My name's Alan Lumpkins, I live on Newport Chapel. I feel sorry for him. He's up here, he's got a lot of pride, what I believe in, what everybody said. But I'm here to tell you, you better protect your kids against bias crime. Whatever you say, whatever they say, it will come back and haunt you. Trust me, I've been there. As an attorney, you should tell the parents what could happen if somebody calls this kid a faggot. You know what can happen. I know what can happen. You know, I didn't call anybody faggot, but something happened, we got chased down by this lunatic. It turned out to be dead. One phone call, the LGBTQ community will be here. You'll have 50,000 people outside your house, at your college, wherever you are. You got to sit down and talk to your kids. I sit down and talk to my kids about it. We can't be calling them gay. We can't doing anything like that. Because it will come down on your kids so damn hard, you'll wish you were dead. And you'll admit it. The lawsuits will come, the money you'll spend. I'm scared I'm done this money. You gotta give this kid some pride for being here. And keep it out of the kids' schools. In high school, do all the teaching on. They're developed. First grade through 8th grade, no. That's it.
Hello everybody, my name is Louis Wiggle. I'm a 11th grader at Kinnelon High School. I'm a very active member in the community. And I am also a proud member of the LGBTQ+ community. Though the time period since I have been a part of this school district, I have been chased, called derogatory terms like faggot, had people post negative comments about me and other people of my community. Tonight I have decided to speak sort of as like a first-hand account just to show you guys what's going on. Now, we all have a different perspectives and points of view, and I completely respect that, especially when you're a parent. It's very hard to be a parent, not that I would understand anytime soon, but you have to make many decisions about how you want to raise your kids and how you want them to grow up. Currently in this environment, I don't feel safe, I don't feel welcome. I think the school, the administrators, the teachers, they do a great job supporting me, but really I have had, ever since I actually moved to this town and started coming to this school, I've had issues upon issues upon issues with other students, with the things that I just previously mentioned. And I'm asking the Board of Education for more LGBTQ plus education. I myself had to teach myself my own sex education. I had to go online, I had to look at my own resources for that. I had to learn LGBTQ plus history. I didn't know what Stonewall was, one of the key moments in the gay rights movement, until my straight friend told me what it was, which I just find appalling. I think this community has so much to offer, so much to teach, and I'm not saying that it needs to be thrust upon all your children, but you at least need to acknowledge that we're here, and that isn't going to change. By teaching your kids about the LGBTQ plus movement, its history, and more about it, including sex education, is just teaching them the different aspects of life. It's teaching them something that might not come up in their futures, but maybe of friends, and we all need that. I love this community, and I've been here to support it, so I would really enjoy not only the Board of Education's support, but all of your support.